we are live. Happy Abundance Wednesday. This what is today's date? What is it? March 23rd?
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
It's all blending together for me now. It's all blending.
Close enough.
Today is a super fun one. We've got Dagmar Bressel. How do I pronounce it, Dagmar? Is it Bressel or Bressel?
Bressel.
Bressel. Okay. And David, how do I pronounce the last name? Bauderina?
Yeah, that works. Batterina. That's fine. Rolls off the tongue.
Bauderina. And we got Styles Morales and the infamous Mojo, who is, it's kind of appropriate. I know I mentioned it before, but Mojo played for the former Pope, John Paul in the Vatican. And, this one has just moved on. So here it's appropriate that we got Mojo back. Lisa.
Yes. Hello, everyone. We're super excited to have everyone here today. We were joking earlier that we look like the Brady Bunch a little bit here, so it's kind of funny. But yes, we have everyone here on time, ready to go. We're very excited to have everyone here today, and super excited that Mojo could come back and play for us. He was a big hit last time he was on, and always full of joy and abundance. So we thought it would be great, since David wasn't able to make today's show, that we could have him come, and we would always like to have him back, regardless of if David's here or not. So thank you, Mojo, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Cool.
So would you like a song?
Yes. Without further ado, we present Mojo.
All right. So I'm sitting at a baby grand piano, a Kawai. It's a little brighter than the Steinway I play sometimes, but it's still fun. And here we go. I put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded a plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be when I was walking in Memphis. Walking with my feet 10 feet off the bill, walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue. I followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him, they just hovered round his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room when I was walking in Memphis. Walking with my feet 10 feet off the bill, walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? They got catfish on the table. They got gospel in the air. And Reverend Green will be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. But boy, you've got a prayer in Memphis. Now Muriel played the piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see her, and they asked me if I would do a little number. So I sang with all my might, and she said, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" And I said, "Ma'am, I am tonight." Walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the bill, walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? Yes, I've been walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the bill, walking in Memphis, walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. There we go. Where's that chord? There it is. Walking in Memphis.
Awesome. I
Wow.
love that song. That was a great way to kick off the show today.
He always brings the abundance. That's what I said. That's what I was telling. That's what I said in the DM. I said I would really like it if you could start because you just bring that positivity that we're trying to push here. So
Lance,
wow,
your
appreciate
audio
you.
is a little bit cut out, so if you can come closer.
It sounds muted, kind of.
How about now?
Still the
Can you hear
same.
me now?
It'll be okay. But yes, that was awesome. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
don't know if you're going to be able to stick around to play anything else, but I did see you
I
brought
got a
that
few
guitar.
minutes. I got a few minutes before I have to get back to work for sure.
Okay, awesome.
How about now? You
Well,
got me now?
yeah, we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
It just sounds like you're further away.
Really? That's so weird. I wonder why.
Maybe taking a trip into the bathtub again.
That sounds like an inside story.
Can you hear me
He
now?
was-
Do you
he
still
was-
hear me? Is it
Yeah,
now?
we can hear you.
Still hear me?
We can
He was
hear
caught
you.
See, so it's
laughing
doing
on
it
one of our
again.
streams when he
Yes,
also sounded
you're
like he was
still in,
broadcasting from the bathtub, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, Lisa.
It's doing it again. That's what it's doing. It's doing the bathtub thing
Yeah,
again, I think.
last week the same. I
That's all
remember.
right. Did you want to go ahead and introduce Dagmar? It'll be all right. We can hear you still. Oh, hang on one sec. I think he's trying to reconnect. All right.
I can introduce myself, no problem.
No. 1 second. He's back. He looks like he's me, but it's him.
Oh, my bad. Can you
There
hear me
you
now?
go. You sound much
Yeah.
better. Yes.
Oh,
Very
good.
good.
Okay.
Very
It
So
would
good.
not be Abundance Wednesdays without some sort of technical
It
difficulty, so
absolutely
it's
would
just
not.
on track.
Which
Right.
one am I? Which one am I? Is the
No,
question.
you're the purple one with the level up.
Okay. Well, this is very awkward here. Yeah, but let me go ahead and talk about Dagmar. Dagmar Bressel. She is from she's in Hamburg right now, but she's been in the industry for over 30 years. I don't want to name drop all of her clients, but I mean, Procter Gamble, some of the big boys out there. I mean, she is really, really, honestly a titan in this industry, and I literally just found out about it yesterday, honestly. Lisa looked her up on Perplexity before she came on, but I will tell you what I personally know
I love
about her,
Perplexity.
which is she is just an awesome community member. Since I very, very first got involved in all of this, Dagmar came out to say hello, complimented me on what I was doing. She was part of the whole Web3 thing. I won gold in that when I first started out with the Pirate Opera. I know she had a hand in it, even though she denies it. But anyways, yeah, so for me, my own personal, I just see her as an awesome person that participates in the community, is always a positive light in this community. I see her in and out of so many spaces, and she's just always there complimenting people and talking about other people. I honestly, for a while, she had music videos on the AI music video stream, and I didn't even know it because she never talks about herself. She just talks about other people or reposts other people. And then I was looking at her, and then I was talking to Laura over at AI music video one day, and she said, "Oh yes," she's like, "Did you see that new one that Dagmar did?" And I looked, I'm like, "Oh my God, she's making music videos." I had no idea. And then just to find out, that she's been like one of the top German photographers like in her field for 30 years, and we had no idea. It's just, it just goes further to show that we know so many creative and awesome people in this community. And while I love everybody's backstories and accolades and what we've all done and accomplished in our lives, I'm far more interested in what people are doing right now in this community among, everybody. And she is one of the good ones there. So yeah, thanks for joining us today, Dagmar.
No, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, hello to all the creatives on the globe, especially to my nephew Max, who made it today. I'm very happy about this.
Yeah, Max. Woot woot.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I feel very, very honored. Yeah, thank you.
So I guess part of what, I mean, I've got a lot of questions for you, but just in the beginning, could you tell us about the transition? Because that's one of the interesting things that I learned yesterday was, how big you were in the photography industry and, clearly how involved you are in the AI quote unquote industry at the moment. Given that, industries like photography and advertising and so on are still a little bit, skeptical of AI. How did you get involved?
Yeah, actually, I started with fine art. I studied fine art. Then I saw that I'm not that that good painter that I can make a living of. Then I changed to graphic design. From graphic design, I got to photo design. I made my master in photo design, and yeah, then I started to take pictures, which was not so easy at that time as a woman. It was more in the hand of the man, the business photography. So yeah, finally I made it in advertising photography. I never wanted to be in, actually. I wanted to be doing documentations, and this was actually my big dream. But I ended up in advertising photography. So how did I get to AI? Actually, because I was taking care of my dementia mother for 5 years, so I stopped working. And then the pandemic came, and I was lucky that a friend invited me to Clubhouse. And at Clubhouse, I got in touch with the NFT community. And during this rooms, there were suddenly AI showing up, the first programs. And then I started with Leonardo. I never touched Midjourney, I have to say, because at that time I was a little bit skeptic about copyright. That is now in August, 3 years ago. Yeah. Oh my God, 3 years. And Leonardo was the first platform where I could upload my own photography. So I started with this, and this made it easier for me to open up for AI, because I didn't have that bad feeling about copyright and blah and blah. Everybody knows these discussions. Yeah, that's how I started.
It's
And
awesome because I also love Leonardo. That's like my favorite thing that I
Yeah.
use all the time. So I was like, we had Midjourney, but I just didn't really use it that much. Nothing against Midjourney, but yeah, I really liked Leonardo too. So I'm always happy when other people are using it because I think it's really great. And I don't know if people talk about it enough. I'm not a creative partner with them or anything, but I have been using them since I got started and think they have like a lot of incredible tools you can use.
Yeah, it's a great program. And and then I saw that a lot of people did NFTs with animation. And I come from film, because after my advertising photography, I started to have my own film production for advertising spots I produced. I never was behind the camera, but I was directing a lot of TV commercials. And now I lost it.
well, speaking of TV commercials, no, because it was what we were talking about partially the other day on, advertising and how AI and, traditional advertising and so on. I mean, we had a huge discussion on it. But you mentioned one that you had just made, Snake. I wanted to show that real quick. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, please show it, and then I say something.
Okay, let's see here. Snake.
Snake. Dangerous.
Yeah. So this is not a work for a client, but I showed it already last week. One creative director from a big agency here, and he was blown away. I wanted to show my ex-clients I used to work for what's happening now, because a lot of them didn't really get it, what's possible. And so I can tell everybody who wants to be a part of the advertising business, produce some spots where a product is inside, and you have a big chance to jump on this train, because not a lot of people here. I mean, the film production companies, I was shocked, really. I was shocked. I was talking to one I know from years ago, and he said, yeah, I heard it, and but is it really like this? I said, yeah, it is almost there, Okay, you see in my little clip that the tongue of the snake is not perfect, of course, but for me it was okay, because it was for me a test. How can I do a fictional perfume ad for a fictional perfume? So yeah, and I did the music with AI, with Udio. The animation I did with Kling. Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, the opera was kind of the part that grabbed me. I mean, I love the visuals as well, obviously, but music for me in most of the productions, whether it's a movie or a commercial or whatnot, just really adds that kind of power. And I do enjoy, as you know, the opera music and the more classical things as well. So I was happy to see that. You said you did that one in Udio?
Yes.
And was it just one track, or did you mix it up, or?
No. It was just one track, and Udio is very great with classical music and world music and average. And I was the most difficult thing was because I didn't want it to have it longer than 1 minute, and to have this dramatic singing in this short period of time. That was the hardest thing.
Jesse James writes, "Snake, when smelling reptilian, is the way to a million." Do you have any writers, Dagmar? Do you have the writer's blood in you, or do you just mainly focus on visuals and audio and so on?
Sometimes I write some poems when I was sick of love. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not writing books, but I like to write song lyrics. Yes.
Oh, lovely. What about, though, for advertising and whatnot? Do you do any of the plugs or jingles or any of that kind of stuff?
No, I never tried that.
Very nice.
No.
Dagmar also does music videos on the AI music video stream. I don't know. Do you put your stuff anywhere else, Dagmar? Because I know there's so many
I
different
had no
festivals.
time, actually. There are so many platforms I'm missing. So, but I'm on Huge. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's kind of new. Huge.com. It's a nice video platform. And they have every week a competition, and the first one got $150, the second 100, and the third got 50. So it's a place to it's a nice place to check, and it's a great community, and yeah,
Very nice.
huge.com.
So you
So
mentioned
Oh, I was just gonna say, so I know, Dagmar, you said that you have taught before in some universities in Shanghai, for instance, and teaching photography and sometimes AI as well. And I think that one of the things I was interested in is, and probably we'll talk to David a little bit about the same thing that kind of goes on in the author community, but we were talking a little bit with you about just in the photography world, because I think a lot of what we're trying to do here and with the other ventures that we're starting is bring more people into the world of AI, because that's going to be just the world that exists pretty soon. And there is still a lot of pushback from, I guess, traditional artists. And it's funny because, we were kind of joking about how I know you have more experience than I do, but I even remember back in the 90s when there was a lot of pushback against tools like Photoshop and things, and traditional photographers saying it's going to ruin us. And then now it's just ubiquitous. And then these same people who are using Photoshop and all these tools are really upset about AI. And like, I think that it just creates, especially the community we have here, is more forward thinking perhaps, and that we've lived through a lot of technological change. So this is all just the next step for us. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm an old bitch, but in my head, I'm young, and
yes, all of us are. That's why we're here together having fun.
but and I love to adventure new technology. I always did. Like you said, with Photoshop, where my colleagues were really cutting my head off almost when I started with Photoshop. And then they came running 1.5 year later in my studio and begged me for some lessons. And yeah, it's kind of deja vu with AI now, because a lot of my colleagues are saying, "Oh, I don't want to touch it. They take our jobs." And I say it's just another tool. You have to go with the time. You have to see what's possible. At least you have to know what's possible with this new tool, and then you can decide.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't really benefit anyone to, you can keep your head in the sand or try to fight against it, but the best thing to do usually is to learn how to adapt to it. Especially now, I think we're still kind of at the forefront, even though people are finding more out about it. But people like you who are out there pushing the boundaries and using all of your many years of traditional experience and then using that and trying to help bring other people into the new world. I think that the work that you're doing is, a great example, because like anybody can make anything, as you know, but if you have that eye for knowing how to sell something or which music choice to pick, and that's all kinds of things that you still need that human experience element, that the AI can come up with ideas, but it's not going to be able to take the vision to life. So I think that the work that you're doing is really uh, wonderful, and that you have
Oh,
still
thank you.
your creative vision and you're able to express that using the AI tools. I think that that's just it shows the difference between someone with your experience versus, people who are just kind of playing around, may or may not be able to reach the same level of depth in their work. So I think that really shows in what you're doing.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I have to say here to every photographer who's maybe here in the audience, um, I could really benefit from my knowledge of photography to put in the prompts. So I could adapt my knowledge and put it into a new tool. So this is what I really enjoyed.
And
And
we're definitely going to need those prompts and everything we were talking about yesterday. Like I said, I super duper appreciate you, Dagmar. It's been awesome knowing you the entire time. I love everybody that's involved with this community. You've always been positive and
thank you.
supportive of everybody.
Yeah, I like to lift people up. This is why I work as a teacher to yeah 25 years. I was also working here in the university in Kiel for 3 years during my normal work because I like to educate people. But even there in this university, I had not problems with the students. Sorry. I had no problems with the students. I had problems with the teacher because I was teaching too modern style, you know. And then they were mopping me out. And I said, okay, bye-bye.
What style was too modern?
Naja, I was teaching their fashion photography. And they thought it should be more catalog-wise. And I was always a big fan of Nick Knight, who was experimenting. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's from London. He is a very great big photographer. Nick Knight. Everybody should check out. He's so creative. Yeah, and he was my guru, and I tried to adapt this and show the students where the journey goes, you know. And they didn't. The other teachers, they didn't want. They wanted to have very classical, you know, very backward oriented, and yeah.
Well,
Okay, then I went to China. They were hungry for me. That was fun. When I was teaching in China, that was great.
and your special, let's say, your open style that's accepted in China as well.
Yeah, they were very, very, very open for it. I mean, they are so open for Europeans, and I bet also for American, for Western people. And they were so friendly. I can only say good things about China.
I love that.
I don't want to get political, but in the education part, it's wonderful.
Well,
And
for those of us who've lived
yeah,
all over the world,
anybody who is interested to teach there can DM me, because I have my girlfriend. She is from China. I met her by accident 18 years ago here in Germany in an Italian restaurant. She's from Shanghai. And yeah, later we stayed in contact, and then she became a professor for 3 universities, art universities in China. She's a big number now. And she asked me, come, please teach. You're so good. And we are always looking for Western people who like to teach, you know. Yeah.
that's so awesome.
And I think it's so neat that, so necessary that the hate which got produced from the media against China, I'm not happy about it, you know, because the people there are very nice people.
Yeah, for
So
sure. There's some nice people all around
build
the
a
world.
bridge
So
with
hopefully,
art. Let's build a bridge with art, you know,
right.
and don't listen to the idiots who say, China wants to get us. China, bad, bad.
Well,
Okay,
I think we
back
wanted to be able to
to-
play one of the new video you put out, because it was a little bit, I think you said, different than your typical style, but I really liked it. The control video that's
Oh yeah,
I'm
control.
guessing, going to be on the stream soon, but we can play it here for everyone who had missed it so far.
Yes, yeah, I got bored of my commercial stuff, so I was thinking I do some arty thing, and I had fun with this. The music I did with audio,
Okay, awesome.
and the animation I did in Vido.
Oh yeah, I need to use Vidu more. I like them. I haven't been able to get over there for a little while.
Yeah, they have an update.
Looks like AI music video is also down to show it this weekend.
Awesome. Let's play it.
out the noise. Yeah, be the rhythm, take control. Hands up, we're making choice. Yeah, dance like there's no tomorrow. Let the beat ignite the night. So together we will reach new heights. We don't stop, we ride the fire. Hearts like drums, taking us higher. Sky turns gold, we're breaking out. This is home, no fear, no doubt. Don't lose control.
Yeah.
Like, we have announced the song over here. It's very catchy. I like it.
Thanks so much.
Ooh, I love that one. It was really just like, it felt like it was building the whole time. I'm just like, all right, let's go.
I know, it's like it's over. I wanted it to keep
Yeah.
going.
I was waiting. I'm like, wait a second, it's done. No, more.
Thanks so
Awesome.
much, friends.
Thank you for coming today. We really, really appreciate it. I was really excited to have you on, and I know that you are want to help be part of our
Yeah.
foundation stuff we're doing, and we're just really grateful to have you around.
Thank you. I was so nervous. I hope I didn't talk too much
Oh.
bullshit.
You are awesome.
you
You are awesome, Dagmar, and you are
wonderful.
welcome anytime. And we are super duper grateful to have you on board at the foundation as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, let's get David up here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what he's
you.
doing.
All right, 1 second.
This thing on?
It is, yes.
Oh boy, look out.
So, David Batterina, we are very excited to have here today. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
And we were put in contact with David through Grimful, who is here in the audience and is our favorite person, one of our favorite people.
One of mine too.
And it was actually, I had watched, David has a web series called The Mirthquake Web Show, and he actually interviewed Grimful, and I had watched his interview with him after that came out. So I kind of already got to see what that was all about, which was really cool. And then getting to know David a little bit more just through our chats and things, getting ready to have him on the stream. He's just a very cool guy and very like abundance minded. So one of the things I was telling him is I was looking through kind of why he started his web series, The Mirthquake Show, and it seemed to really resonate with what we're doing, and that he is doing a lot to help lift up the writing and the author community and build up that network and supporting each other and things, and then having people come on his show to talk about their creative process. And so it seemed like right in line with kind of the thing that we're doing, trying to help support and amplify each other. So it's exciting to have him on today. But David has a great background as well. He is a successful writer and a successful YouTube channel runner with his show. He just re-released his debut novel from 2020, which I believe was The Caretaker, right, David?
Correct.
It's a
Yep.
psychological thriller. And then he's also written,
That one.
here's his website, Space Pew Pew, which is a space opera about friendship,
Yep.
loyalty, and camaraderie. So that sounds very good. I don't know if it's like a Firefly sort of maybe
Uh,
vibe to it,
yeah,
but
you got similar vibes for sure. And
okay.
then you post up the Amazon link for my latest one,
Oh,
how to
yes.
expose yourself to women. I'll explain that though. That needs a little bit
Oh,
of
we're
an
definitely
explanation.
going to need
So that's
explanation
yeah,
on that, my friend.
that's his new book coming out. But I also saw that David is a fourth degree black belt, and he
Yeah.
ran a martial arts business for a long time, training thousands of people,
Yeah.
and
It's around
also
12
did a
years.
lot
Yep.
with okay, charities focusing on foster children, military vets, and first responders. So I think I learned from David just reading about his background and things he's doing is that he's like a perfect fit for our community. And when Grimful put us in touch, we were really excited because we're all about creativity and merging like the old and new worlds. And I think as a fellow Gen Xer, that is just the world that we grew up in, going from analog
Yeah.
to digital, and now we're going on to the next thing. And it's like Dagmar was saying, like maybe we're getting older, but we're all like a bunch of kids again because this stuff is really exciting. We're finding communities, we're having fun together, and I am just excited to have you here today, David.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm thrilled to be here. Honestly, I'm just tickled that I was invited, and I just absolutely love it. I love the positivity note on everything, and yeah, you pretty much nailed it. For for a bit of my background in a lot of those things, and kind of where I come from, I see creativity to me is the most fascinating topic because I'm enthralled with the idea that humans just have all of these neurons firing in their brain, and then all of a sudden something that's just been locked in there through your experiences in your life for however long it's been, um, makes connections and gets put out into the world and then can affect other people. And I think that's really that's to me that's just like magical. And so that's why I like to focus on creativity, and I like to do everything I can to unleash my own.
Awesome. So, I guess, well, maybe tell us a little bit about your. When did you first get
The
started with
journey.
writing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. No, I got you. I got you. So, I've always wanted to, and I've always been that kind of creative person. And when I was a kid, I have older siblings. I'm the youngest by 10 years, and my two older brothers used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they'd be at the table at night with their high school buddies, and I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, and just watching these mystical worlds unfold before me, and I just thought everybody was so cool, and all of that. And it really just kind of, I don't know, I guess that's where the storytelling bug sort of came in. And I tried through high school and things to put some words down, but never anything that was really working for me, or anything that I was like all that serious about. Um, Wrote a couple short stories and things like that. And then, you have life that happens, and kids happen, and jobs happen, and you're moving around, and relationships are starting and failing, and just like all of that general stuff that's going on as you're just sort of finding your way. And I got to a point where I was like, I really want to take this more seriously, and I want to write the book. And I started one story that I was about 20 to 30,000 words into, and and this is just one of those cool creativity things that I mentioned before. I ended up just by accident in a small writers group at a cafe, just like 3 or 4 people there every Saturday, and I would hang out with them for about an hour, and we just talk stuff. And once in a while, we tried writing to a prompt, and I have all these decks of cards that have just like random writing prompts and things like that. And I pulled one of the cards out of the deck, and the card was, "What is the oldest item you own?" And it was just a basic writing prompt. And I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. I can talk about like my grandfather's ring, or, whatever it is that I've got laying around the house that's just old, like maybe, I don't know, like the tapioca pudding that was in the back of my fridge or whatever. And so I had this idea to just write something fictionalized instead. And that turned into the first chapter of The Caretaker, which is right here. Now here's the thing. I started, and I was pretty excited about it, and I read it to the people um, the writers group, and they were like, "Where's the rest of this? Because this is really, really cool." And I'm like, well, okay, it's time to do the writer thing and abandon the project that I was working on and just focus on the new thing because it's more exciting. So I did that and I started writing, and I was a few thousand words into that book when my big brother suddenly passed away. And that really sent me sideways because that was, you know, he was the family extrovert. We were very, very close. Obviously, I'm his little brother, and we'd done a lot of things together and everything. And my last conversation with him, I was starting to tell him about it, and he had to work, and he was like, I gotta go, I gotta do my thing. I was about to go to Las Vegas for a few days on a vacation, and he's like, when you're back, um, I want to hear all about it. And I didn't get that chance. While I was in Vegas, I got a call from my sister as I was sitting there waiting for nachos at a restaurant, and she just said, "We lost Joe." Um, and so I had to spend a couple days in Vegas just kind of wandering around in like this haze, not knowing what to do, couldn't get a flight back right away. So 2 days in the party capital of the world, when your big brother just passes away was, um, yeah, that was tough. And so I used a lot of what I was dealing with that and poured it into an urban fantasy story. So a lot of themes of love and loss and grief and all of, and connectedness and all those different things. And I was just working through what I was going through, when my brother left. When the book was done, that's when everything really hit me. And I ended up in a depression for a couple years, honestly. Like it was there were some really dark moments there. Um, and I couldn't really write anything after that. And it was very strange because like I had this book that was out. It was very well received. I built my YouTube channel up to close to 20,000 subs on it. I had people very invested in what I was doing. This wasn't Mirthquake. This was just me talking about life, talking about psychology, being an INFJ because I like MBTI stuff. Um, and a little bit of writing. And so I had a lot of like really close people. I made great friends through doing all of that, and I worked really hard on that channel to build it up. So by the time I released the book, I had great sales, more than most indie authors would ever hope for on a debut novel, because I did the work building a fan base before I had the words down. And they all supported me, and a lot of them still do. I'm still connected with them, even though I don't really do a lot of stuff on there. And so what ended up happening was I didn't write anything, and I didn't write for a while when that was done because I just couldn't, like, no matter what I did, those creative juices weren't happening. And, I tried, and then there was a moment, and I was trying, I'd moved, just a lot of life changes happened, right in the aftermath of that because, kind of, it was like sending a bomb into your family dynamic. Like everything just scattered and was just forever changed for all of us and still is. So I took some time and I, tried to get some words down here or there, tried working on some projects. And there was one day in particular where I was happy. I, woke up in the morning, I took a walk to my favorite coffee shop. All of my devices were charged. I actually got the corner seat that I loved with the charger, like with the outlet right next to it. Like everything was perfect, had my coffee, had my sandwich, and started to write. And just this cloud started coming over me. And so I packed up. I went home. I turned a camera on because I was still making videos at this point, just really open about what I was struggling with. And I started writing a letter to my brother, and and it got really really intense. And I just sort of dumped a lot of things out at that point, getting a little upset, but um, and I had words for him, that I was pissed off that he left. The video ended with me smashing my keyboard to pieces and falling down in the middle of the floor sobbing because it was just something that I had to deal with. And what ended up happening with that, my girlfriend at the time, she's my fiance now. She came over and I showed her, what had happened with the recording. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to like post this. Like, I don't know if I want to be that personal just online. And she was like, you're kind of healing, and maybe that'd help somebody. And that was an important thing for me to hear. So I posted it, and hundreds of messages. Thank you. Like I'm going through it too. And seeing you do that makes me feel okay. So, these are really important things for me because it let me know that I wasn't like by myself with these emotions. I was really just working through it and I was open about it. And I found a community of hurt people. And that helped me a great deal. And I'm not going to say the floodgates opened for writing after that, but another project fell into my lap, and it was about writing a book all about joy and happiness. And at the time, I was still just really suffering. So every atom in my body wanted to say no. This is a friend that asked me, a very good friend. It's like, we want to write this book called Joy Jitsu, all about more joy in your life. And I'm like, man, I just went through this. I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, And but even though I wanted to say no, I said yes because I knew I needed it. There it is. Yeah. And it was brilliant. It was the thing that I needed because I put a lot of that work into Joy-Jitsu, just talking about things like perseverance and talking about things like creativity and being in service to other people, all things that I find really, really critical and important. I'm a firm believer that if you're in the creative space, you have no competitors. That includes AI, that includes other people, that includes anything, fellow authors, even in the same genre. We don't compete. More readers helps all of us, and so I really try to focus on that. So this project landed at just the right time, and it helped kind of jostle some more of the creativity loose, and it allowed me the room to write Space Pew Pew, which is an absurd sci-fi space opera, but it's at its heart, it's got a lot of heart with the characters, and it's about their relationships, even though I'm putting them in the most ridiculous circumstances in space. Like think a little bit of Spaceballs, a little bit of Fifth Element, Firefly, Galaxy Quest. It's like it's got that entire vibe to it. And people love the book. They love the characters. And so I'm good with all of that. And so I kind of lean into the humor and absurdity for the most part now. But Caretaker was where it sort of all started. And I had, I'll give you a quick story. If anybody watches my show, they know I've told this story a couple times. But there's one chapter in particular in Caretaker, chapter 21, where I wrote that when I was in a really depressive state, and I got a message on through my website from somebody. They didn't leave a return email address. They didn't leave a phone number. No way to contact them. No name. And it just said, "I read The Caretaker. I read chapter 21. You saved my life." That was it. And I'm like, man, what do I do? Like, I can't write back to this person. They clearly didn't want me to talk to them. They just wanted to send that note. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say that creativity is truly magic, because that's something that was just in my head that I was dealing with, and I decided to put those thoughts together and manifest it into the real world and put it out there. And and it's affecting people. This person was from South Korea. That's the only thing I know from just the IP address that came through. And here it goes out there, and it's affecting somebody that deeply. So I'm a huge believer that creativity it changes everything, and it allows you to connect with people that you normally wouldn't connect with. It puts us all on a very similar playing field. And there's no reason to be competitive about it. Our job should be to lift other people up. And that's what I'm always trying to do, is just to give back and be of service to the community. That
Yeah,
was a
oh, no, I really love that, and I think that we all really think and appreciate that you shared that story with us, and I'm so sorry, obviously, for the loss of your brother and,
thank you.
um, everything that you went through, but I think that you really, sharing that is very important, and I think that your wife was totally right about putting it out there for people. And a couple of weeks ago, and she's in the audience listening in, we had Natalia come on, and she also shared just a very personal story of hard time that she was going through. And I know that she felt like she'd never really said those things in public before and wasn't sure how it would be received because it was kind
Yeah.
of just, an emotional dump. And as I told her, I think that it's very important for people to hear those things because it does tell people that they're not alone and that there's someone out there who can relate to you, because those are, especially those kinds of things, are the things that we want to keep bottled up inside because we might feel like, shame or just like
Right.
uncomfortable about people seeing us that way. And I think that you said you're an INFJ and I am
Yeah.
like an INTP. I also nerd out
Oh,
about
nice. Yep.
Myers-Briggs a little bit too. But I
Yep.
think a lot of what we have in our community are those like intuitive introvert kind of people.
Oh,
And just
absolutely.
being able to tap into your intuition about, like, it just makes you more empathetic to understanding how other people will feel about things and how your actions affect them. And I think I like to see that the like introverted intuitive people are, in our weird intuitive way or introverted way, coming to the forefront now, because
Yep.
the world really needs more of that sort of empathy and being able to actually, especially now as we're moving into a world of AI and everybody thinks it's just going to be robots doing everything, like human connection is more important than ever. And I think that having
Right.
real actual relationships with people where you can be emotionally vulnerable with them, those are very important. And I think that people are actually looking for that, which is why we're building this community here, because it's just people that want to be creative and express themselves, but maybe in the quote unquote old world didn't have the chance to do that, because that's, the extroverts out there, we love you, but people like to be loud and in your face and like doing the
Yeah.
Instagram, like I have this perfect life. And then we have like our little community of, crazy weirdos, but we kind of like to be a little bit more sensitive sometimes. And I think that there's so much to learn from you and to be inspired about with what you were sharing. And like I said, I just think that people really appreciate that level of vulnerability, especially
Yeah.
because like you said, you're writing this book about like how to expose yourself to a woman, and somebody might be like, who
I'll get
is
to
this
that.
guy? What's
I'll
he
get to
all
that.
about?
I know.
But
I
you get
know.
to know you,
I
it's
want to
like,
know
wow,
about the sexual
he's this
position.
awesome guy.
We're gonna get there. Yeah. Well, look, I think one of the important things too, and this is what drives me running the Mirthquake show that I do, where I'm highlighting creativity. I don't want just authors on there. Is one of the reasons I wanted Grimfell on there. I want people that are involved in other things. I've got a guy I'm trying to get on who he does handmade cement pottery. I'm like, well, that's really creative. Like, I'm just really curious to dig into people's brains and how they work. But one of the things that you hit on there is that as artists and creatives, even if we're introverts and we like to be quiet and we like our own space, like a lot of people misunderstand introvert. They think introvert means don't go outside, don't talk to anybody. That's not what it is. It just
Exactly.
means that in order to recharge, you probably need a little bit of quiet time. And in order for the extrovert to recharge, they need to go out with their buddies during happy hour. Like, that's it. It doesn't mean that we don't like people or can't get along, or just tying
Exactly.
social awkwardness to introversion is terrible. You would never peg me for one when I'm running a class at my karate school where I've got 30 kids and a bunch of adults and everybody's screaming and hollering, and I got to be up there being an idiot. But after that class, I got to go home and it's got to be quiet because I need to recover. It drains my battery. But the thing is, being vulnerable, at least let people get to know you. This is why I hate when there's podcasts and streams for authors where the only thing they do is go on there and talk about their characters and their world and how the magic works and all this kind of stuff, because nobody cares. What I want to know is, what music do you listen to while you write? Do you write in the morning? Do you write at night? Do you pound down Mountain Dew and espresso beans like at midnight to like get your creative juices flowing? Like, I just want to know how your brain works. And just by getting to know somebody, I am more likely to support that person as a creative because now I know you and we're friends. Like, that's how I see it. I don't care about all your other stuff. And so authors in particular, they're such curmudgeons, just like, I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like how I look on screen. Like, I don't care. Like, get your butt on the screen. Like, let's get to know you. Let's have a good conversation. Funny stuff ends up coming out. And now you've got people that are interested in you because they realize that you're an interesting person. And there's a lot to be said for that, and just presenting yourself and your brand and your creativity and getting it out there. I think it makes a huge difference for the people that see you.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree 100% about the misconception people have of introverts. And it's funny because that's like one of the things I was talking about to my husband with doing the show, and the people that we have on, a lot of them are introverts, and they say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm shy. I don't know what I'm going to say." But the thing about us introverts is that because we don't really like superficial tell me about yourself kind of questions, they're awkward, but you got to just tap into what an introvert is actually passionate about, because the minute you do, they become this like open book of like, okay, you guys, I got to be the heavy. We got to wrap up here. You've had
Yeah.
your time.
They won't
Because
shut up.
people just exactly, but
Yeah, it's what I'm
you have
doing
to
right
like
now.
exactly. And so you just have to be able to tap into what people are
So,
passionate about, and then you're gonna just talk and
uh,
talk. But no, we love it. That's what you're
yeah.
here for. Tell us about yourself. But yes, here's your book, How to
All
Expose
right.
Yourself to Women.
So how to expose yourself to women, just the pre-orders just opened up yesterday, right? And I had this idea a while, because look, I'm an absurdist at heart. I like absurd comedy. I like stuff that's just weird. I really dig into humor. I believe that humor is just like it. Look, comedy is really hard to write, because you've got jokes that may or may not land. You have somebody that doesn't have your sense of humor. They might think you're trying too hard. Like, there's a real delicate balance with comedy. And what you have to do is make sure that you've got heart in your characters, because some of the funniest conversations you've probably ever had were with family members sitting around a dinner table just randomly on some night. And that's the kind of thing that as an author, I'm trying to tap into, is that vibe, where people are around. So I had this random thought one day of, I want to write a book all about, um, you know, relationships, like, men trying to connect with their woman. And I want to call it How to Expose Yourself to Women, because I just really thought that was funny. And then like it could be a whole series of books, how to expose yourself to your pets or your grandma or like whatever. Maybe not that. So I was like, all right, let me take this concept. And I had a short story that I wrote for an anthology a couple years ago, and the anthology's called It Came from the Trailer Park. So think like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, if you've ever seen that, like redneck horror humor, the rednecks win at the end of the day type of thing, kind of thing. And I wrote this short story for it. It ended up getting nominated for an Imagine Award at a convention. It was last year that it was nominated for one. And I was really proud of this story. I wrote it in 3 days, edited it and polished it and submitted it. And it was one of the first ones chosen for the anthology. So I was like, all right, cool. And I had these two redneck characters in there. One of them's 18 years old. It's his birthday, and his degenerate uncle has taken him into the Alabama swamp to like make a man weekend type of thing, And I wrote these two characters, and the degenerate uncle, right, just this sleaze bag of a character. I loved writing that character, and just highlighting how absurd, just all the logic was wrong. Like everything about him was just like totally, it just couldn't be redeemed in any way. And I'm like, man, this guy was fun. So I decided to run with this How to Expose Yourself to Women story. And I have this sort of fake lore that at the end of the short story I wrote, Chester, the 18-year-old, drives off with his uncle's car because his uncle goes missing, and ends up finding in the glove box a book that his degenerate uncle was trying to write, called How to Expose Yourself to Women. So I decided to just write the uncle's book and then publish it along with the short story. So it is the worst, most misogynistic, terrible advice and opinions you could possibly have from sleazebag Uncle Floyd. And he really just like breaks it down, and I like, this is a no holds barred, inviting cancel culture kind of book, because I really want it like and I get to step back as the author and say, it's not me, it's Uncle Floyd. Like his name is on there as a
Blame
thing.
that
I
guy.
actually, just 20 minutes before the stream started, I got my sample copy of it, my first
Okay,
sample copy to go
congrats.
over it. So
Awesome.
like it's got the not for resale all over it and all that, just to get it, make sure like the print was right. And it came out brilliantly. Like it worked just the way I wanted it to. Amazon doesn't let you pre-order paperbacks. You can only do ebooks on a pre-order. But May 14th is my birthday. I'm turning 50. And I'm like, you know what? I want to release a book on my birthday. And what better book than How to Expose Yourself to Women, releasing on my birthday? So my editor that went through it, he's the only one that's read it at this point. And he had told me, he's like, I had to stop editing this book because my face hurt from all the stuff you've got in here. And most of his comments in the editing document were just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you wrote that. I'm like, well, it's not me, it's Uncle Floyd. So yeah, I lean into the comedy, and this is going to end up tying into the Space Pew Pew universe that I have for book 2. And one of my characters in the far future is going to come across this ancient work to help him get the girl of his dreams. And he's going to follow the advice, and it's going to be hysterical. And I can't wait to write it. So, yeah, I've just kind of been leaning into the absurdist comedy because I'm like, that's just where I naturally go. Even if I'm writing serious, I've got to throw something, like I can't help myself. And so I grew up on movies like Airplane and Spaceballs and, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. Like it's just ingrained in me, as that, back when Gen X humor was like no holds barred. Like I was like
Yeah.
10 years old watching Police Academy and Revenge of the Nerds. Like, could you imagine making those movies today and having a 10-year-old just be like, yeah, just watch this. Like, oh my goodness gracious. So that's kind of where that came. That's where that came out of.
Awesome. Well, we're excited and congratulations for getting your copy today. We're excited for your
Yeah.
release. And now I
Thank
want
you.
to go back and read your other books because I have not had a time to read books for a little while now. But one of these days, I will buy the book. And when I actually read it, might be a different thing. But I will, in fact, purchase the book to support you.
I got a couple
But
Spaceballs is great. I got a couple of readers in the chat here and stuff like that. They know my stuff. Like I said, I just kind of lean into it and try and have a good time. But I always try and put heart in the books because I think that's, there's jokes can land or they can't, right? It's like you never really know. It's just like watching a comedian. You don't know the comedian or their personal life, but you hear the jokes. And so I always find that, leaning on real human emotions and things that we all experience, like love and anger and hate and disgust and all of those different things, if we hone in on those, everything is relatable, even if it's got humor in it. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today. This was really fun, and we should definitely have you back again sometime because it
love
was a
to
lot of fun
anytime.
having you on here. Lance, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, you're super awesome. Grimfell was right, but I trust Grimfell's judgment on most things. So
As do I. Yeah.
it was kind of a no-brainer. Happy birthday on the 50th. It's
Thank
funny,
you.
on the 14th, my wife is getting her PhD. So that's interesting. I will be 49 soon.
Oh, there you go.
But so you've got a year on me. Um, and the books, I definitely want to pick up The Joy of Jiu-Jitsu. So as soon as I get that, I'm going to give everybody my thoughts on that because, as you know, I just love anything that's positive. There's so much negative out there that I will feed myself positive, force feed myself. And it's
Agreed.
and this sounds awesome and really super. Thank you for sharing. It's what can I say? It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, and
another time I'd love to touch on more of the AI stuff too, because like I've got a lot of thoughts on that as an
yes.
author.
We didn't even get to that.
I
Yeah.
know,
We
I'm sorry.
definitely
Well,
need to get you back
we will
here.
Yeah.
for sure next time. And also, I know that you have your stream connected up to ours, and we have also your community joining us today, which is awesome. And I just wanted to also say that if there are other authors out there or people in this little circle who want to be involved with what we're doing, we are always looking to, we've just expanded into trying to get more authors on, and all of the ones that Grimfell's put us in touch with are really awesome so far. Jessica was out there at least earlier, and she was amazing. And then us, obviously, we love you, David. So, anybody that's part of David's circle who wants to come be part of what we're doing, we would always love to have you as well. So just let us know.
Likewise, any creatives that are out there that aren't authors, I am happy to platform you on Mirthquake. We have a great time. It's a super fun show. Always looking to expand. So if you're looking for another avenue to get yourself out there to people that may not know you, I'm totally down. Just go to mirthquake.show and it'll walk you through everything. So
Awesome. Thank you again for coming today. It was really great to have you here.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Dave.
Absolutely
Really
love it. Yep.
appreciate you.
I think we're lucky enough to have Mojo come back. Let me unmute him, and he's going to sing us another song before
Mojo.
we talk to Styles.
But did you know that Mojo is also an author, a blogger, and songwriter, plus a graphic designer? And I think Mojo would love to come and talk to the Mirthquake as well. We're going to get Mojo on here to tell us a little bit about himself as well. But, you know, being that Mojo does write, I'm sure David might be interested in him.
100%. Yeah. That'd be great.
Awesome. What you got for us this time, Mojo?
Yeah. So
Walking to Memphis was great.
yeah, I'm going to do an original song because Dave was talking about the creative process, both for an author and for a musician, very similar. So I'm just going to tell you behind the scenes of the song I'm about to play for you. It started about mid-December. I was sitting at the piano. I was just goofing around, and this chord progression came to me, and I really liked how it went. So I kind of codified it, then I recorded it, and I posted on my YouTube channel as just a piano composition, and I was happy with it. I thought it was done. I dedicated it to my first piano teacher, my first and only piano teacher, Mrs. O'Day. So I called it One Day, W-O-N Day, One Day. So, and I was done. So I thought. 2 weeks later, I'm in a live space on X, and I'm just singing my heart out. And after a song, a lady who's in the audience unmutes herself, and I'd never met her before. She introduces herself, and she says, "I love your vibe. I love the way you do your stuff. I love your voice. And I've got these lyrics, but I don't know how to write a song. And I was wondering if you'd take my lyrics and turn it into a song." And I said, I'll try. I'm not going to make any promises because I'm not connected to you or your words yet, but I'll give it a try, see what happens. So she sent me the lyrics in the back channel, and I sat down at the piano, and I was like thinking, where do I go with this? So I started reading through the lyrics a couple times, and this little voice inside of me said, you know, the piano composition that you wrote 2 weeks ago, take that and apply it to these lyrics and see what happens. And so I'm going to show you what happened when I took music that I wrote before I met the person who wrote the lyrics, and we put them together. So this is what I call maybe divine collaboration. Anyway, this is called Brooke's Song because Brooke wrote the lyrics. Also, I titled it "A Hard Truth," and you'll understand why. But this is a very profound way of songwriting that I've never experienced before. My quivering heart wants to tell you so much. I found my way the hard way. No one said it would be easy, but damn what they say. I will never forget how hard this is. The love of something that you can't see, because that something's got a hold on me. Look around and tell me, what do you see? Do you see something that you want to leave? For the past, present, and future reads the truth. You can't say it's a hard life when you're stuck in your old life. He keeps reaching out to you. You just got to move and make it through. 'Cause he's got you in his arms to walk you through. He's walking with you. You say you can't hide from the truth. You don't have to hide from the truth, 'cause you want to be free. The truth will set you free. He keeps reaching out to you. You just got to move and to make it through. 'Cause he's got you in his arms to walk with you. He's walking with you. You can't say it's a hard life when you're stuck in your old life. He keeps reaching out to you. You just got to move and make it through. 'Cause he's got you in his arms to walk you through. He's walking with you. He'll walk you through.
Wow, Mojo. See, I love the piano. I mean, there's loads and loads
Yeah.
of good instruments, but piano is just one of my favorites because you can go from classical to something more wild, like at the drop of a hat. But you are awesome, Mojo. Appreciate you. Really, really, really.
That was really beautiful, and I really liked the piano, as did everyone in the chat. And do you have that out somewhere where people can listen to it again?
I do, yeah. So if you go to my YouTube channel, and you can get there through my Linktree mojo.studio, it's right on the screen next to my face there.
Okay.
Mojo.studio is a Linktree, and there's a link to my music channel. I created during COVID. I created a whole channel of my recordings from trumpet and piano and guitar and singing, and I did tin whistle, harmonica, all this kind of stuff. And I called it Swift Kicks in the Brass because I'm a trumpet player at heart. So I got a whole channel of music called Swift Kicks in the Brass. And most of the songs are about a minute long, a few longer, and there's a full length version of this song and a couple others that I wrote. In fact, I'm right in the middle of producing my third real production song. This song came to me just a few days right before Easter. Started with a phrase, 4 phrases, and then I was just reciting the phrases to myself over and over again. And a melody came for the chorus. I shared it with a few friends, and one who's a producer, and he says, "Let's turn this into a song." And I said, I can't afford that. He says, "No, I will turn it into a song for you at no charge. I believe in this song, and I want to be a part of it." So we connected on Easter, and on Easter Sunday, I wrote the verses to it, fleshed out the song, and he right now is in the studio putting his magic sonic touches on it. So a brand new Mojo song is in the works, but ready to be released any day now.
Awesome. Great. Well, I put your link in the chat there for everyone, and they can also, of course, check out your profile. But thank you for coming back again and singing another song for us, which playing the piano. That was just really beautiful. And
God, I love that one.
I know we're excited that you keep coming back. And one of these days, we will actually like have you on to talk more about yourself instead of just playing us music. But we love to hear your stories that go along with them as well.
Cool. I have more songs pulled up, but I don't know how much time you've got or your format of your music. So if you want to
No,
sing
I think we're
piano
gonna
numbers,
go ahead and move on to Styles
Cool.
for now, but
Very good.
we do really appreciate you playing that one for us. It was
Do
really
you want to
great.
come back at the end, Mojo?
Yeah, tell me what time. I'll be back.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Is that half an hour or so?
Oh, possibly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to be done around then. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Let me unmute Styles. Great. So we are very excited. I was very excited to have Styles Morales here today, Lee. And I guess like when Lance and I first got started with doing Abundance Wednesdays, and we were like, I don't know, what should we do? Talk to people? We'll figure it out. It was funny because Styles was one of the first people that came on and started talking about stuff. And on that space, he was sharing a lot about what he's been doing in Blender and 3D and AI and all of that. And I know that he was really inspiring to a lot of people listening in on the space that day, and it was really cool that he came. But I guess we've been kind of like ex friends for a while now, getting to know each other a little bit. And I'm just always like inspired by seeing what he's doing, and then getting to know him more. I was like, wow, he's just super talented. So if you don't know, Lee began his journey as a freestyle hip hop MC, and he's open for people like Ludacris and Busta Rhymes and Method Man. And he was around all these really popular people back in the day, and I think that's really cool. And then, as I think that's the case with many of us, kind of like post-COVID and all this, people started pivoting into doing other things, and he started toward his film and storytelling journey, which is kind of his first love, I think. So if you follow him, which hopefully you are, you'll see that he's always putting out a lot of what he's learning in things like Blender, Unreal Engine. He's putting out a ton of different tutorials, prompts he puts out, just awesome content that he's making with himself and with the characters he's developed. He's working on a lot of different projects. He's working on his passion project, Spider Gates, which is a supernatural story he's been wanting to make for a long time. And I think that's the thing he's putting a lot of his work into. But besides that, one of the things he's making is The Chaotic Life of Yumi, which, if you've probably been following me and our stuff for a while, you'll see that I was like super happy with his Project Odyssey submission. I'm not me without you, and we're going to play that on the stream here because it's like honestly one of my favorite things. I love it so much. And I bought his NFT. I've seen it a ton of times. I was like, well, we're playing that, and then whatever else he wants to play is fine, but I'm gonna make everyone watch that because it's awesome. And we could probably talk to him forever, so we'll try to keep it on track today, but he's doing so many things. He's working on a theatrical animated film, The Spider Story, which is about Anansi, the trickster spider from Caribbean folklore, and working with team on that. And he's just been around the AI and 3D space for a while now, working with a lot of talented people, and has a lot to share with us. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for coming today. Really excited you're here.
No problem. Thanks for having me back, and it's good to see everybody. Good to meet some new faces, as well as some of the faces that I met in the beginning of the the like you said, the first space that you guys did. So AI Dreams and and the rest of y'all.
I love that. Still, Silly calls me AI Dreams. The cat's out of the bag now, Styles. I'm just Lance. Everybody got tired of saying the mouthful of AI Dreams. So this is a AI Dreams.
I mean, I didn't even know his name for a while. Every time I was talking to my husband, I was like, in AI Dreams. I don't know who this guy is.
They made rainbow hands about my name.
I did. It's funny.
Made rainbow hands.
So yeah, so we've now everyone knows who we are, so it's fine. Awesome. So, all right. Well, do you want to play his video maybe to start off so everyone can see it? Do you have it ready?
Yes, let's.
Then we can talk to him.
One sec.
Drop it.
Out in limbo, lost in space. Echoes fading, can't keep pace. Questions linger, heart in strife. Needing you to feel alive. I'm not me without you. Pieces crumble in the blue. World to shadow, nothing's true. I'm not me without you. unhinged. Raging current pull within. On the edge where darkness lies. Only you can bring the light. I'm not me without you. Pieces crumble in the blue. World's a shadow, nothing's true. I'm not me without you. Without you, pieces crumble in the blue. World's a shadow, nothing's true. I'm not me without you.
So hopefully everyone else will watch it as many times as me. I love it so much. You did such a great job on it. The song is like amazing, and then the video, like you're very, very, very talented. I think you did an excellent job, and I really love it.
Thank you, thank you. Well, Yumi started off in the early days of me messing around with Dolly and learning about generative AI. One of the things I wanted to do was immediately start trying to see how, how much of the prompts these AIs could understand. So I developed the hairstyle was one way to try to see if the AI would understand, what a gradient hairstyle is and stuff like that. And then the more I did it, and then the more, the AI started to progress and get better at creating the prompt. She became like I started giving her a little backstory. I just started saying, her name's gonna be Yumi, because she's like you, me, all of us when we were young, and pains in the butt, and she's kind of like a cross between Punky Brewster and Dennis the Menace. So that I started working on her backstory. Then she had friends. Her friends came about because I was generating images of her, and another version of her would pop up but with shorter hair, and I'm like, oh, that's her friend Luna. So that ended up becoming her bestie. They're both like the same kind of headstrong characters, so they constantly are at each other, but they love each other too. It's like that love-hate relationship that besties have. And then I needed somebody to be in the middle. So one day a third character popped up. I'm like, oh, that's their friend Mia. She's the quiet one. She's always like trying to keep them separate and try to like keep the peace. But I also made it that she's also like the wildest in the band, and she's the drummer. She just goes like ham when she's playing drums. So like it's a little just shows a little contrast in all the characters. But yeah, so that's where it all came from. This song is basically what happens is she goes through some kind of situation where her and her friends get in trouble because Yumi is one of those people that just can't help herself, and her friends finally get tired of it, and she's like, fine, I don't need you guys. So then she made that song, a song called Missing Me, and it's basically saying like, I don't need you guys, I could do this on my own, and this and this and that. And then stuff hits the fan. They end up going through this big thing, and Yumi needs her friends to be able to try to overcome this big challenge. And she starts to realize that she did something, that she kind of pushed her friends away when she needed them the most. So that song's called The Reckoning. And then this one was basically she finally makes up to them, makes up with them, and she just sees them for who they are, and knows that she needs to have them. She's not herself without her two best friends. And it's not just about her two friends from Who Cares, but it's also the grandmother. And as you see that I put like a little fake rest in peace thing there for her grandfather. All of these things help influence like the song. When I start to prompt and write the lyrics, I try to make it fit the story. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, for sure. I think you did a great job of blending both, like you said, the storylines there, and then also just again, when we were kind of talking about how we all grew up in that world of like Punky Brewster and friendships, we were all out playing together and being annoying, and like always had the friend who wanted to get you into all sorts of antics and that kind of thing. And that was a lot of fun. I
Yep.
think maybe, hopefully, kids still have those kind of friendships, but it seems like they're kind of more like I don't know, online and not really out there playing together like that anymore. So maybe we can bring it back because yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll put I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna be focusing more on the Spider Gates. For those of you guys who don't know, Spider Gates is a cemetery located here in Massachusetts. It's been known as a haunted, one of the haunted places of Massachusetts. They call it the eighth gate to hell. I had visited it one day and went to check it out. It's a really small, quaint Quaker cemetery. There's really nothing infamous about it. It was just an old cemetery, and the Quaker group that was basically maintaining those grounds moved to Worcester, Mass, and they ended up closing off the road and everything. And people started calling it Spider Gates because on the front there's these two wrought iron gates that are supposed to be sun rays, because this place was called a friend's place at one point. And but people thought they were spider webs, and so they started calling it the Spider Gates. And then the story started, and then someone saw an old tire swing that the rope from an old tire swing, and it was some boy in the 80s was hung there and by this satanic cult, and that never happened, and a lot of the stories they tell about it didn't really happen. So when the pandemic hit, I said to myself, well, I don't really do the music thing anymore. I used to do a lot of improv, so it's not like I have like, albums of stuff that I perform. I used to just make it up as I went. That was my thing. And but my first love was really just the movies. I used to love watching HBO when they would put the behind the scenes to certain movies to see how they made them. One of the big things I used to love was just listening to the directors and how they're, telling their story or basically bringing this story to life. And so I'm like, I want to do that. So anyhow, I decided to learn more about filmmaking. So everything from just what kind of camera to use, how to use the camera, what kind of software I'm going to need. But the biggest thing was, the storytelling part of it. And because I'm a MC at heart, and I used to write stories before I even started doing music, that was one of the things that I wanted to focus on and have some kind of message or meaning. Because when I did hip hop, I wasn't talking about gold, guns, gats, girls, all that stuff. I was, trying to be more on the conscious, level, where I was trying to speak to people about the things that I grew up through. You know what I mean? I grew up in a small town in Fitchburg. My dad was in and out of our lives, and when he was there, he wasn't like the best person. We never had a lot of money. So I basically found ways to kind of entertain myself and my brother. It all started when he wanted Transformers so bad that I just took a piece of paper and then I said to myself, I have to draw a robot, but the robot has to turn into like a car. So how do I do this? And so I ended up creating these little Transformer characters for him. And from there, I just learned how to use what I have, and, we only allow ourselves, we only are bored when we allow ourselves to be bored. We have the ability to just create stuff out of nothing. You don't even need any money. I haven't had to use any money to make any of the stuff that I have. And that's what I want to put out with my tutorials, just let people know. And then that's kind of what led me into the AI and to being able to learn 3D and VFX, was that I didn't have money, but I found free ways to do stuff. And I started using, whatever knowledge I had of computers, and then, doing tutorials and learning as much as I can about different aspects of, creating stories using both 3D and AI. And now you can actually combine them. And so that's why I'm starting to show people how to do that, learning how to motion track your AI generated scene so that you can put a 3D object in there, learning how to cut your 3D character, remove the background, and then drop that in as a plate inside of the 3D world. This way you can keep a consistent 3D world, which is what I'm going to do with Spider Gates. I'm going to basically photo scan the cemetery that's right here in Fitchburg. It's an old cemetery from like the 1700s. It sits right on a big, big hill, oversees the whole city. So it's much bigger than the real Spider Gate. So I'm going to use that as one of the locations, and any other locations I need, I'm going to generate with the AI and then use Blender to create like a 3D version of it, and then drop that into Unreal Engine, and from there I'll build out the world where all these characters are going to live. You know, I think it's just a really great way to keep everything consistent. I know everybody's always fighting for that. I've been fighting for consistency with characters since the very beginning of AI, and we're there now. But there's still stuff that I think that by learning some of this, basic 3D stuff, it will help to, to keep things in line. And you don't really have to learn the whole program in order to do some of the stuff that I do. So I think that's what I want to do with my tutorials, is show people that you don't have to be a 3D whiz. As long as you follow the steps that I can show you guys, it's actually pretty easy. It's like putting Legos together, and once you know how to do it, it's like the sky's the limit. You're only limited by your imagination at that point.
Completely. And you've got a
Yeah, I
great
think
brand.
it's really incredible. Oh, go ahead,
No,
Lance.
no, no.
You should be hush up.
Yep.
Go on.
Oh, me? I thought you had a question.
No, Lance. I think he was going to ask you a question.
Go ahead, bud.
Oh no, it was on the. I know it's a little bit of an older topic, but you were working on the T2, right? With Rezo and them, and they are. Is that continuing now? Because I haven't been keeping up with everything that's going on back then. But I was super impressed.
No,
with
they
it.
actually are doing another story. They did like a Alice in Wonderland thing, and they didn't end up bringing everybody back, which I understand, because when we did the first one, there was 50 artists from all over the world, and everybody had their own style, their own narrative that they wanted to do to tell, their portion of the T2 remake. And so it took us a lot longer than what we were originally planning for. I know Nem and Sway were trying to shoot for a specific time frame, and we overshot that by like maybe a couple of months, maybe even 3 months. I don't remember exactly when. But yeah, that was released last year, and they premiered it in the Landmarks New Art Theater out in LA, and it was definitely one of the first ever feature-length AI generated films. But we did use things like Blender and other tools to make it happen. Now they're doing another one. It's like an Alice in Wonderland anthology kind of thing, but they cut it down to a smaller amount of artists. I think it just gives each artist a little more time. I think I was only working with like a couple of minutes, whereas now they probably have a much longer time frame to really flesh out their portion of the story. So, yeah.
Cool. And at
So
least, oh sorry,
oh,
no, at least
sorry.
there was
No, I was just going to say that I think that, I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I was going to just say that I think that Lee were saying that you are also trying to get a project started to support physical and mental health with your NFT project. And I wondered if you wanted to maybe talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah. So, and I heard David talk about, going through rough time. I myself was and have been going through a really rough patch for quite some time now. And a lot of it started with just some of the medical issues that I'm going through, and then a lot of the things that I'm dealing with the medical leave, and them messing up all of the finance stuff. So it's like messing up my bills and everything. And I started getting into a really, really bad space myself. And the only thing that's been really keeping me out of it is creating stuff. Whenever I'm making stuff, I don't think about, all the crap that's going on in the world or in my life. I focus on trying to create stuff. And so I said, you know what? I know a lot of people are going through the same thing. And originally I wanted to do it to try to raise money so that I could try to pull myself out of some of this debt. And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I should probably take half of that at least, and then donate that to folks that are going through the same thing, and use the NFT platform as a way to raise awareness for like things like depression or other kind of medical ailments. I also want to do one of my niece's daughter who has autism, so we want to help out with that. And so I think I want to create like almost like a charity type of NFT collections, and then use that to like try to help out as many other people. So it's not about me trying to make money off of it and get rich. It's more about, you know, how can I give back? And maybe if I can help other people have some kind of, you know, something where we could help some of these people, they won't end up going through half the stuff that I had to go through. You know, I went through a lot of it throughout my whole life, and thought I was out of it, and here I am dealing with stuff still. I may not seem like it, but I do try to keep myself, you know, as positive as possible. I don't want to dive deep into the dark depths where I was at before. And just knowing and meeting a lot of you folks, and seeing that people enjoy some of the stuff that I make has been enough to like keep me from getting to that point. So, but yeah, the NFTs, I want to be able to give at least half, if not more, of the proceeds of every, you know, purchase, and put it towards, you know, whatever whatever charity or whatever program I want to help at that moment. So if it's depression, you know, I'll look for some behavioral health programs or things like that, that I could say, hey, I want to donate these proceeds to help as many people as I can. So, yep.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate that you are doing that. And again, we've kind of had a lot of these kind of discussions with people going through different things. And I think that this is just a great community for being able to, you know about what's going on in each other's lives and be able to help and support each other. And I know that you have a lot of your content on Rad, and that's where you have your
Yeah.
NFTs, and you are actually the featured creator on Rad for today, which awesome. Congratulations. But if you guys are into NFTs and supporting fellow creators, he has several up there that you can purchase. And I've purchased his NFTs because I really do try to support people where I can. And I think if we can find different ways of doing that, um, whatever ways we have. And that's one of the things that Lance and I are really trying to focus on, is both on the profit and nonprofit side, how we can help each other to succeed tangibly in the world, and then also go and spread that knowledge. And like Lee is, always willing to help people and put his knowledge out there with tutorials and things. But
Mhm.
the economic realities are, we can't just always be freely sharing information without being able to help ourselves tangibly too. So we definitely want to be able to do both sides of that. And I think in our circles here, when we have the ability to help each other out and support each other, it really just is reciprocal, because somebody will be there to support you and your life as well. And I definitely appreciate everything you're putting out in the world. And like, I know that you've been going through a lot of difficult times. I wish there was more that we could do to help you, but definitely appreciate that you're here doing it every day and putting yourself out there. I know it's going to come back to you eventually,
Mhm.
and we're definitely all here to support you. And I really appreciate you coming on here today, because if you guys don't follow him, please do. But he's always just a wealth of knowledge and putting out cool stuff all the time. And it was really, really, really great that you came back today.
No problem, no problem. I appreciate it. I did want to drop one more other thing. Speaking of like the charity, I've been tasked and been given a job to work on the Spider Story. My buddy Dana, who used to work for Samsung back in the days while I was working at AT&T, we reconnected. He's been good friends with the Wahlberg family from out here in Boston. So obviously you guys know who Marky Mark is, and so he's really good friends with him, and also has been involved with the Boston Film Festival. And so Anansi is going to be premiered there, and we want to we're gonna be linking up with like the Doug Flutie Foundation, because he's also a friend of Doug Flutie's. This guy knows everybody. I don't know how he does it, but he knows all these people. And so we got Lenny Clark that's gonna be involved. If you guys know the comedian Lenny Clark, so he's gonna be one of the characters. And what we're doing is we're bringing on a autistic girl who's going to be doing some singing. We want to bring in some other folks that maybe are having, some kind of health issues or whatever, and we want to use the proceeds from that to be able to help some of these charities like the Flutie Foundation and the foundations for autism. So again, we want to be able to use this art, to help as many people as we can. I feel that that's what, that's where art is its best, is when it's enlightening people and it's enriching people's lives, and helping others, at the end of the day. So yeah, so I hope, for any of you guys out there that work with 3D or work with AI, have been working with AI for a long time, that are interested, we are going to be hiring some folks. So this is a legitimate job, a legitimate gig, and I'm going to be doing some of the interviews, and then Dana will do some interviews as well. So if you're interested, just put together a highlight reel, let us see some of your work, and yeah, I'd be happy to bring some people on and maybe get their names out there, get your names known.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you again very much for coming back today, and it was great to talk to you. Everybody, please follow him.
Thank you guys.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Styles.
And then it looks like you
Mojo.
got Mojo back.
We got the mojo back. All right.
Got your mojo working, baby.
Awesome. What you got?
Okay, you ready? Night falls, I'm alone. Skin, yeah, chills me to the bone. You turned and you ran, yeah, and you slipped right from my hand. Hey, one black tears on the river, push on the shove, don't mean much. Sugar on Jack, match on the fire, cold on ice, dead man's touch, whisper on the screen, doesn't change a thing, don't bring you back. Oh no, blue on black, blue on black, blind, oh, now I see. Truth, oh, lies and in between. Wrong, wrong, no can't be undone. No, no, let it slip from the tip of your tongue. Hey, long black tears on the river, push on the shove, don't be much. Poker on Jack, match on the fire, cold on ice, dead man's touch, whisper on a screen, doesn't change a thing, don't bring you back. Oh no, blue on black, blue on black. Hey, blue on black, tears on the river, push on a shove, it don't mean much. Joker on Jack, match on a fire, cold on ice, a dead man's touch, whisper on a scream, doesn't change a thing, don't bring you back. Oh no, blue on black, blue on black, yeah, blue on black. Tears on the river, push on shove, don't need much. Poker on Jack, match on a fire, cold on ice, dead man's touch, whisper on the screen, doesn't change a thing, don't bring you back. Oh no, blue on black, blue on black, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Blue on Black.
Awesome, man. You are just multi-talented. This is just killer. I love when you come to play. Appreciate you coming today. Appreciate everybody coming today. I think we were talking about earlier about how we're trying to, because so many people in our community are making stuff every single week, and clearly we can't have everybody back every single time they make a new thing, because we would be showing the same people all the time. But we definitely wanted to highlight the stuff that is coming out every week, and we have a lot of exciting stuff coming out all the time. First, we've got Tasha Caulfield is coming out with 1984 soon. I have been personally waiting on that for a while. I don't get excited over many things, but I really, really, really love Orwell. And I don't know if any of you have read, his biography aside from the book, but I think probably his biography is more telling than the actual story. But I am super excited to see what Tasha has come out with. She sent me, let's see here, she sent me a link. I don't know if anybody wants to see, but I'll show it anyway. It's only 30 seconds. Oh, is that the one? No, that's not it. Wait, maybe? Maybe. Let's try. Let's see here, because it's something new here. She's got a different way of showing. There, wait. Is that it? Yes, there it is. Let's see if it works.
We didn't ought to have trusted him. I said so, Ma, didn't I? That's what come of trusting him. I said so all along. We didn't ought to have trusted the buggers.
So short and sweet, but still just kind of makes me want to see it even more. And also just a quick update or reminder rather on the festival, which is going to be the AI music video. Is Laura still here? Laura, are you in here? Let's see here. Luna Vega in the house.
I don't know if she has her audio
Oh,
hooked
gotcha.
up.
Either
It
way,
didn't look
they
like.
are, for those of you who know and don't know, it was interesting because Brian, James Gage the other day had no idea about the festival, and he is a OCME member. So it was odd that our own members didn't know about the festival. So let me repeat, there is a festival, the AI Music Video Festival. Hold on, let me throw it up on the screen here real quick. AI Music Video Festival that is going to be on the oh, did I do it? Sorry. The 28th, the 29th, or sorry, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st of May. The 29th, I believe, they're doing a DJ party at the Imagine conference at night. The 30th is going to be another DJ event hosted by West Coast Labs. And the 31st is going to be Lisa and myself, the Abundance Awards ceremony. And clearly that's the one that I'm most interested in. But yeah, you can buy your tickets here. I think the more tickets you buy at once, the better deal you get. The Abundance Awards are going to be at District North. We have a theater. It's going to be, what did we decide on? An elegant steampunk theme.
Elegant steampunk,
So
yes.
definitely dress up, because we don't want to be the only
We're going to look very
exactly,
fancy.
and I don't want to be the only one who looks fancy is the thing. So definitely looking forward to that. If any of you can make it to Vegas, please let us know. We will try to hook up and make lunch. We'll have to take over some of these places. There's already so many of us coming, but I am super duper excited. We've already had
I'm excited because I've roped Lance into wearing a coordinating outfit with me, so we're going to be very dressy.
Yes, yes. Well, I've already got it too. I mean, it's like a costume anyways. It's very nice, very fancy. And I believe Luna Vega and everybody else there with her is going to be dressed up as well. So yes, please dress up. We've already was talking to DJ Motivate the other day. He says he's going to try to come through and play for us during the event. We're going to do our best to stream in the same way that we do here. It's going to be slight twist because I won't have all the equipment there, but we will have quite a bit of equipment. And we're going to try to do the same thing we do here so that we can pull all of our friends from all across the globe into the event with us. Some people clearly are going to be performing. I think Grimfell even said that he may try to take a stab at doing something with us. But yeah. Oh, it looks like Luna is back. Maybe she wants to give us an update on anything. She's let's see if we can get her in here.
I don't know, is her audio working? It doesn't look like it's connected to the audio,
Don't
but
know. Luna, can you hear us?
okay,
Oh,
no,
she's
she's
not.
not. She's not
Okay.
connected.
Oh, she can hear. Okay. But yeah, anyway, so that's the gist of it. Basically, the shows are at night and you know, the day, typical day in Vegas, recovery. Lisa and I, depending, we're not real sure on what's going to happen yet, but Lisa and I will be streaming from all over Vegas. So we want to try to bring you guys in, and yeah, just super duper looking forward to it.
Yes, very excited. Awesome. And just to give you a quick update on next week, we're going to have Guillermo Castellanos on. If you're following him, he's always doing a lot of very cool stuff and collaborations and his own solo work. And we're really looking forward to talking to him next week. And then we're also going to have the winner of the Curious Refuge animation competition, Hal Watmo, who is at Edit9 on X. We'll link that out. And he sounds like a super cool and interesting guy who was doing a lot in the UK and won a BAFTA award among many other awards when I looked him up. And so he's getting into the AI world and won the Curious Refuge competition. So we're really excited to have him on next week along with Guillermo and then probably a few other folks that we're lining up. So we'll keep you posted, but we always love having new people come on and share what you're up to. So if you do want to be on the show, please just let us know. And it's going to be a little bit hectic and chaotic in the next month since we are getting ready for Vegas. We've got two business ventures now we're doing and the show and everything else. So we've got a lot going on. It's really busy. Sometimes my anniversary was Monday and my husband and I were out. So that was fun. So do it between real life, work, two businesses and this show. There's a lot happening and we don't always get to engage as much as we want to with everybody, but really love you guys so much. It's like so great to have you all in the community and you guys really just make us very happy, and this is why we're doing all of this for you guys. So we love having you here every week. And thank you again for continuing to support us.
And I think Mojo was offering to close us out. Is that still on offer? All right. Hold on. Let's see here. Do we got Mojo? I swear I'll figure out this tech one day. There we go. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, I'm here. You want a closing song? I got one for you. I can't hear you.
Please, sir. Yes, sorry. I had those
yes,
muted.
please go ahead.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, sister, when you need a friend. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you don't understand. We all need somebody to lean on me when you're not strong. And I'll be your friend. I'll be you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Call me if you need a friend. Call me if you ever need a friend. I said, call me when you need a friend. Won't you call me? Call me. Call me.
We will definitely call you, Mojo. Every single time. You might
Awesome,
get
thank
tired
you.
of me calling you, actually. Go ahead and unmute
Got
everybody.
me on speed dial, baby.
Got you on speed dial. Be careful. I'm collecting phone numbers. I've got everybody's phone number. I'm gonna call Grimfell too. He's gonna be like, bro, do you know what time it is? Like, come on, man. Feel the abundance.
Feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
Thanks to
Awesome,
everybody.
thank you all for
Yeah.
coming.
This was so awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome having you on today.
Yeah,
You're all
thank
unmuted.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate
So
it.
we're going to have who next week?
Guillermo Castellanos. Who else did I say? Hal Watmo, and then we probably will have some other fun surprises that we're lining up. So we'll see.
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of people. We're just not confirmed with everybody yet, but it's going to be great. Whatever it is. Hope you guys had fun.
Thank you
I
all.
had
Love
fun. See you next week.
Round of applause. Round of applause for everyone. Round of applause.
Absolutely.
Woo.